Today is day 15 for my Bonne Maman advent calendar. Let's see what's behind door number 15. Counter cooking. No kitchen, no problem. So here's door number 15. It is in the upper left-hand corner. Let's open this up. And it says Shine Bright. And we have cherry pink peppercorn spread. I think I've had this one before. Last year, I made a cherry pink peppercorn chicken salad with this. I'm gonna taste it to refresh my memory. It basically tastes like the name suggests, like a cherry preserve with pink peppercorns. So I think this could work in a savory direction or also in a sweet direction. Today, I am going to make cherry chocolate chip cookies. I've never made these before, but I think it would be a really good idea. So I found a recipe online and I cut it down by 1/4, and let's see if it works. It could be a disaster, but we're gonna try it anyway. So I have a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. That's what I have in this bowl. And I need to add a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. There's a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm literally just gonna sprinkle some salt on this. And that's it for the dry ingredients. I'm just going to mix this together and then I'm going to set this aside. Next, I'm going to beat together the butter and the sugar until fluffy. So what I have here is 2 tablespoons of butter, and as you can see, I've cut it into small pieces. That way it'll soften up quicker, and it's just been sitting on my counter for a few minutes. And I need to add 3 tablespoons of sugar to this. I'm using Domino organic raw cane sugar. I would think any kind of sugar would be fine. And I'm just gonna take a wooden spoon and just crush the butter up into the sugar until we have a nice fluffy mixture. The butter actually should be softer than it is right now. I should have let it sit longer. So this is gonna take a little bit of time, so I will be right back. Here is the butter and sugar mixture after it's been nicely incorporated. And now I am going to add 1 egg yolk. The original recipe called for 1 egg, but I'm cutting this recipe down by 1/4. So I figure 2/3 of an egg is the egg white and 1/3 of an egg is an egg yolk. So that's gonna be close enough. The original recipe also called for milk. And if I cut it down, it would be 2 tablespoons of milk. I don't have any milk in the house, so I am going to use water instead. And I figure the fat in the egg yolk will compensate for some of the missing fat from the milk. I just added an egg yolk, and now I just need to combine the egg yolk with the sugar and the butter. That's all mixed together. That looks good. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of water and a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, and let's mix this together. So I would definitely not recommend using cold water because I think the cold water just made the butter seize up like that. And now I need to mix in the flour. I'm just going to do a little bit at a time with the flour. This looks good. The butter's relaxing again. And then here's the rest of the flour. Here's the dough. It's really thick. I haven't worked with cookie dough in such a long time. The last thing I need to do is take my cherry spread and mix it throughout the dough. They said that you don't want to mix it too much because it looks really nice when it's kind of swirled in there. So there's my cherry peppercorn fruit spread. But the thing is, I don't want like big chunks of this fruit spread either. And I think it makes a really nice kind of pink color. So I might just mix it all the way in. The other thing I just realized is I have not added my chocolate chips. I have to go grab some chocolate chips. I'm using these Ghirardelli 100% cocoa unsweetened chocolate chips. I love these. These are really large chips, so I don't want to add too many because I hate when there's too many chips in a cookie. So I think that's a good amount. I'm only making a few cookies, so I think that's fine. And I have seen some recipes online where people will add like a few drops of red food coloring to make cherry cookies look like they're cherry, but I think this is fine. I am going to be using my CWC Cook with Color mini toaster oven. I just plugged it in and I'm going to take the rack out. And then I have this set to 450, which is actually 350. And let's preheat this. So I'm just going to run it for 10 minutes to preheat this. This is what my tray looks like from this Cook with Color appliance. And the reason why it looks like this is because I've put it through the dishwasher a few times. And I guess this was not quality stainless steel because it's rusty in areas. It's just a total mess. But I do continue to use it with this toaster oven. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this with aluminum foil. Then I'm going to put parchment paper on top of that. And that's how I'm going to be baking with it. These are my cookies. These are probably like half a tablespoon each. And I fit 6 cookies on this tray that comes with the toaster oven. So we'll see how these come out. Maybe these are going to spread and make a big mess. I don't know. So let's test it out. I just set the timer for around 12 minutes. It's been about 10 minutes now. Can you see what's going on in here? So the bottoms look like they might be starting to burn, like they look really brown. But the tops, they don't look that brown. I don't know, maybe these are done. So I'm gonna take them out now and let them cool. So actually these are starting to brown. They're like half brown on top. These are just slightly browned. So I think around 11 minutes is a good amount of time in this toaster oven. I just took the cookies off the pan and put them on a rack to cool. So this is actually the rack that comes with the toaster oven. And then this is the little steamer inset that comes with my Hello Hot Pot. And if you put the two together like this, they make the perfect little cooling rack. This made 4 more cookies, so this will be a total of 10 cookies, a little bit less than a dozen. If I made these a little bit smaller, then I'd have an even dozen. Here are the 6 cookies from the first batch. I can't wait. I have to taste one, especially because they're still a little bit warm. So here we go. They're very good. However, I'm not really getting a whole lot of cherry flavor. Maybe because this one had too many chocolate chips. Here are the cookies. They've all been baked. And one thing that I've noticed is they all came out kind of oval. I don't know if that's because of like limited space when they were spreading out on that pan, or if they just don't really spread out as much as I thought they would, or maybe because I needed to put like rounder blobs of dough on the pan. I just noticed that. So I'm gonna taste another one. These are now almost completely cooled, and I just wanna see if I notice more of a cherry flavor. Definite cherry flavor in this one. It's so good. I think because there's not too many chocolate chips in this one. Really good. Yeah, these chocolate chips kind of overwhelm the cherry jam. I would definitely use smaller chocolate chips because these are just too large. Also, I think the pink peppercorn just adds a little bit of bite to the cherry jam, which is just so nice in this cookie. If I make these again, I'm definitely going to use smaller chocolate chips, or I'm going to use the chips that I have and then just chop them into smaller pieces. I think they really should be like a quarter of the size that they are. On this one, you could see that there was a little bit of batter that did not have the cherry mixed in, but I'm going to eat it anyway. These cookies are crispy on the outside, but they're really light and fluffy inside. It's a really nice combination. Also, I would probably double the amount of jam that I used. Obviously, I was constrained because I only had that really small jar of jam. But if I made these again, I would double that. So that little jar of jam is like 1/8 of a cup. I would double that to 1/4 of a cup. But then again, I don't know if that would be too much because these have a really nice flavor when they're not being overpowered by the chocolate chips that I used. Anyway, that is how you can make cherry chocolate chip cookies in the CWC Cook with Color mini toaster oven. I have 7 cookies on the plate. I made 10 in total. That means I've eaten 3 of these. And I'm really full just from eating 3 of these cookies. They're really filling and substantial, but I do have to say they would be perfect with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. They're just that type of cookie. They're not overly sweet. These would also be good as a breakfast cookie. I'm really happy that I made these. And so that's how you can make cherry chocolate chip cookies in a CWC Cook with Color mini toaster oven. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see what else we can make with the fruit spreads in this Bonne Maman advent calendar. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season.